What's up, guys? Injuries from the game. Jordan Elliott hurt his knee before the game, never played. Chase Lucas had a stinger on the first play, returned. Ricky had his ankle and knee, didn't come back there at the end, came back after the ankle. Spencer Burford, ankle, returned. Go ahead.
You guys dominated the time of possession. You held the ball for over 37 minutes. Was that part of the game plan coming in to try to possess the ball for that long?
No, I think we did well in third downs and had some long drives. I was glad we played well in third down, and usually when you do that and stay out there for a while, that happens. So it's a good job by the guys.
Ricky did some really good things. Ricky did some really good things tonight, and then goes out at the end. Is there any indication whether those injuries are serious enough to keep him out?
We'll know for sure tomorrow, but he hurt the ankle in the first play and returned and played with that the whole game. And then the knee thing, I think, was just him most likely irritating his PCL from the past. Those linger, so I would expect it to be all right, but he was battling through a lot today.
What did you think of Ricky being that coming into the game? It was more about his targets, how many he was getting, what he was doing, and then today he kind of had a pretty good, decent game before he got hurt. Got hurt on the first play, but I don't think Ricky was much different than this last month. It just worked out and the ball came that way, and he made the plays when it did. Having to play through the injuries and stuff in that game, and he probably physically was struggling more in that game. So I think it says a lot about him to still be able to fight through it, get out there, and still have a very productive game.
How did Christian injure his back? Was that a factor all night?
He just woke up Saturday and was stiff, so that's why we put him on there. He was pretty adamant last night he was going to be all right, and woke up this morning with it all right, so no issue.
I haven't talked to you since you guys put Brandon on the reserve left team. Did you have to do that right now? Why right now was that move made?
We haven't seen him forever, so that's a decision they make. It's been pretty simple for me. I haven't seen him in a month, so that's and same with our team. So hasn't been an issue with our team at all. We kind of been plugging away and no big deal, or it's just something we've been used to for a while. But I know it's new to you guys, so they just officially, I think, had to do that yesterday.
You and especially John have been saying you hoped he was going to come back. You hoped you still want that to happen. Do you have enough receiver? What do you think about your receiving group that going on without him now?
We've been playing with our receiver group all year. I really have been hoping he would come back all year, but not one point was I really planning on it. So that would have been a great bonus. That would have been awesome. And would love to have BA out there. Would love to have that type of player, but that was something I realized early on wasn't going to come for a while, and there was nothing that made me sit there and think it was happening soon. So I think the rest of our team also.
Has he communicated to you or anyone else that he wasn't going to come back, or has there been anyone that's been in touch with him at all?
Not that I've talked to.
Is he out of the picture of the 49ers now in the future?
I wouldn't say that's for sure been decided. I literally haven't had to think about BA or had a reason to think about him in a long time. He is under contract next year. BA is a guy we've had a relationship for a while. We've always liked BA. Everyone knows how good of a player he is. It's extremely unfortunate that it's gotten to this point, but when this year is over, we'll see where we're at.
How would you describe Brock's performance today? It seemed like he was in control from the very start.
Yeah, I thought Brock did a good job. Made a lot of plays. Made a number of off-schedule plays too, and protected the ball. The one turnover was unfortunate, but I thought he did a good job with the ball all day.
You did a really good job scrambling around out there, Kyle. On that 26-yard run down the left sideline, were you hoping he'd step out a little earlier, or were you cool with him going?
No, I was totally cool with him going. You're protected right there. You get as much as you can, and looks like he did a basketball pump fake move or something like that. But I don't see it till the last second. I'm looking downfield and trying to see where the ball should go, and then I look back and he's running down the sidelines, and I think he ended up getting about 30 yards or close to 30 yards on it. So I think that was a drive we went 95 yards on. They pinned us back there, and that was a huge explosive to get us going.
Along those lines, we've seen Brock hit the Dougie. We've seen him, do the pump fake and the ball in his face. What have you enjoyed as his coach, just seeing him show a little bit more of his personality on the field?
Brock's pretty consistent. He did the Dougie because he promised the guys if he scored he would do the Dougie, and he's not a liar, so he had to do it. Brock does get in. The first time Brock scored in our stadium, his first preseason game, we were playing, I think, the Packers. He did the discount double check, and we had no idea he had a personality like that. So I think he does do stuff on the field a lot. Just he does it subtly. So we love Brock.
Have you taught him the jump pass touchdown?
No, not at all. We give him crap for it a lot, but when it works, we call him Michael Jordan. So it was a hell of a deal today.
Have there been ones you're like, settle down, that didn't work?
Yeah, always. We like cleats in the ground and being able to drive the ball like that. But sometimes somebody's got to use another club, and it's cool that he's got that one.
The challenge on the kickoff, it looked pretty clearly like he caught it in the end zone. What were you thinking?
I didn't even see it. Going off of other people, not to throw anyone under the bus, but I kind of just did. But the rule has changed. It's a little bit confusing. We think that you need both feet in the end zone, or it's a minor touchback, which goes to the 20 instead of the 35. And we didn't think he had both feet in the end zone when he did it. So we were extremely confident with it upstairs, and we'll find out tomorrow why it didn't work.
Brock's been saying that he hasn't been driving the ball the way he wanted to. Today it looked like he did. Is that what you saw from Brock, the way he threw the ball?
Yeah, I think Brock had a hell of a game. I mean, I think he's driven the ball in other games too. I think, when someone says that, because the picks, there's a couple picks versus Carolina where he left it hanging too much. So there's a time and place where you want to throw over people, and there's a time and place where you need to drive the ball because there's no one to throw over, and he found that balance very well today.
As far as the injuries, any sense whether Elliott's knee is serious and whether Burford's is a high ankle?
We're not sure. I mean, Jordan's thing was totally random. It was him just getting loose in the locker room and just felt something in his knee. So that was a big deal. It happened at like 11:20. So I was really proud of Kevin. He was told last night he's not playing and just hanging out in the locker room. And then all of a sudden he's got to put his pads on and get ready for an NFL game. So it was huge by him to step it up. And Spence, usually when you hope that I knew his ankle was bad early, and the sign that he came back and played the rest of the game, you hope it's not a high ankle sprain, but we haven't ruled that out yet, so we'll see tomorrow.
Coach, you guys are at 10 wins. When do you start thinking about the number you need to get to make sure you're in the playoffs?
When the number's right in front of us, when we play a game, we can do the math, and it says if you win this game, you're in. If not, you don't really think about it.
Jennings has fought through a lot of stuff this year, but is he right now, for him anyway, in good shape? The way he plays, he gets beat up, I know, but he's looking pretty good the last couple of weeks. He's fresher than he was earlier.
Yeah, we JJ getting hurt, I want to say versus Seattle, and then re-injuring the next week. It was about 2 weeks ago that we felt JJ was getting back to over his injuries and had got enough weeks in a row where he got all the stamina and everything back, and we feel like JJ's really been JJ these last couple of weeks, and looked like that today too.
You've been generally okay with some tight window throws, but are you especially okay with some tight window throws to Jauan? Those goal line passes were pretty tight coverage. Is that something like, okay, if it's Jauan, it's a little bit better when you do that?
Jauan has earned that. Jauan does a good job attacking the ball and everything like that. So when receivers are that way, it gives the quarterback a lot more confidence to throw tight windows. But I'm very okay with tight windows. If you don't throw in tight windows, you're not going to score a lot of points.
On the drive out of halftime, it was a pretty open window. Brock found Pearsall on the crossing route. That looked like that pass had velocity on it. Was that a similar route that Debo had last year against the Rams, the one he dropped?
No, it was a different one. Ricky ran that same route earlier this year, I want to say versus Jacksonville. But it was really good protection. It was a fake rollout, and Ricky was able to come across the grain, and awesome route by Ricky, good throw. Ricky was upset he didn't score. I told him he had the excuse of the hurt ankle and knee, though, but he'll get his speed back when he's feeling healthy.
Any plans for your birthday?
What's that?
Any plans for your birthday?
Any playoffs?
Plans.
Oh, plans? Probably go home and have a couple drinks. I usually hate my birthday, not in general, but on Sundays. Haven't had a lot of success on it, so it was nice to win a game on my birthday, and actually now I can maybe enjoy with my family tonight.
Any chance you'll take another Vespa ride?
If they got me one, I will. They got me that Vespa in 2015, and the first time I rode it again after we moved Cleveland was in Los Gatos in 2020, and I got pulled over because there was a 2015 license plate on it, so we got rid of it. So hopefully they got me one a day.
Brock, you guys got Ricky Pearsall involved a lot in this game. Was that a point of emphasis, or just kind of the way it came down?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was just how the game sort of went. Obviously, we always want to try to get Ricky the ball. He's explosive and does a great job in man-to-man matchups and creating separation. So, obviously, every game we want to get him in those kind of situations. But just how the game went, the play calls and per coverage and stuff, like he was the guy that I was supposed to throw the ball to, and we made it happen. So, really happy for him.
The last couple of weeks that you wanted to drive the ball better than you had been. Did you feel like you did that today?
Yeah, I thought so. I thought overall just being aggressive and just the way that, the way that I was seeing the defense and just letting it go, man. Leading guys and trying to hit them out of their breaks and things like that. So thought it was a pretty good day for that.
Kyle said he's always okay with tight window throws, but Jauan has even earned it, that he's proven he can come down. Those 2 touchdown passes were pretty tight windows. It doesn't matter. You see it's 15 out there and you feel confident about throwing it relatively tight coverage.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's, being smart within if the guy's clamped or not, but I think with JJ, when it's a moving route and then there's a guy on him with his frame, like he does a great job of just attacking and getting an edge and just a little space with his length. I feel like I've learned over the years that I can give him a shot. So he's done a great job with that in one-on-one situations, and he's always aggressive and comes down with it. So something that, over the years, having experience with that has been good.
How enjoyable was your career-long 26-yard run?
It was good. I thought it was – honestly, I thought it was dumb. The whole ball fake at the end, I was like, bro, what did I just do? So, but in terms of just running down the sideline and scrambling and making a play, obviously it felt good. So, anyways, that's how I feel. Yeah, I played against Cody Barton multiple times, and I respect him, and he's a great player. So for me to do that, I was like, bro, I'm sorry, that was stupid. In the moment, I don't know why I did that, but I did. So.
See Christian thinking that he was.
Yeah, no, that was the unsung hero of the play. Christian acted like he was going to get the ball so that he would continue in coverage, and basically he was blocking the guy, and allowed me to run down the sideline. So, props to Christian.
I've been saying for a while that you guys have the guys on offense to be an elite offense, and you could, while the defense heals up or gets more experience, it's going to be up to the offense. Have you felt that, and do you feel this offense is reaching that point?
I think, for us, every single game, man, like with the guys that we have on the field, that's our standard, is to go out, to move the ball, put up points, regardless of who we're playing. We know that we're talented, and we have guys across the board, receiver, tight end, running back. And so for us, that's always going to be our standard. So definitely, and I'm just speaking offensively. Defense, we got guys that have stepped up and done a great job. But, for us, and a mindset as a quarterback is we need to score, and I expect us to score hopefully every drive. So,
Kyle had said a couple times during the past couple of weeks when he was asked a few times about Pearsall and his involvement the last few weeks that it was like he was fairly annoyed about it, because it was, hey, ball doesn't always come to you. I see he's doing the same things he's always done. Is that the way you feel, or was there any kind of disconnect ever? Because today it seemed like you guys were in a really good rhythm.
No, I mean, Ricky and I, I love Ricky because he and I are honest with each other. We talk about routes and concepts, and after a play, he comes back and he tells me what he saw, and then I tell him what I saw. We're on the same page, man, and Ricky's got such a good heart in terms of, he just wants to do what's best for the team. And so he'll never be a guy that's going to go out of his way and complain I didn't get targets or the ball or whatever. He's about the team, man. And he understands that his moments and opportunities will come as we play. And so today was just one of those days. But we've all been itching to get him involved. And, since he's been back from his injury, and we know how dynamic he is as a receiver. So, and I'm the first to tell him that, after in the locker room and everything, I'm like, bro, I want to get you the ball this week. I'm trying, bro, stick with me. And then he is always like, hey, bro, I totally get your position, how the game goes. So he's got my back, I got his back, and to have a day like this was awesome. So we just got to keep grinding together, and when these days and ops come, you take advantage of them.
What was the message coming out of the bye week, and you feel you guys accomplished that today?
Yeah, obviously to be able to rest up and stuff, but not taking our foot off the gas pedal at any moment throughout a game. It's 4 quarters of we gotta play every game like it's a playoff game, man. And don't do anything to hurt ourselves, but more than anything, be aggressive and go get it. And I feel like today we showed that, and there's still a lot of areas that we got to get better at for sure. So we're going to do that and just keep taking it one at a time.
As a quarterback, is it tough to balance taking what the defense gives you and distributing the ball to your playmakers so that each person feels involved and important?
I mean, yeah, I think I don't get wrapped up in, oh, this guy hasn't gotten the ball, so I need to force it to him. I got to go through my read and how Kyle calls the play. The cool thing about our guys with all the receivers and tight ends, like we got great players across the board, like I've said. The cool thing about them is they're about the team, and, they're not going to get fussy and come back to the sideline and say, bro, I need the ball this game. Why aren't you feeding? Like, it has nothing to do with that. They understand that it's going to come, and we all play together. And so that's my job, man, is to take what the defense gives me, just like you said, and do what Kyle asks of me. But within that, man, everybody will end up getting the ball and getting their op.
Howdy.
You guys have won 4 in a row, and do you sense that there's some momentum building in that room?
Yes. I think we had great energy all week. Like, you can just kind of feel, sometimes you got to try to get the energy and the vibes out of the team. And I didn't feel like that at all this week. It was actually cool. I think it was Thursday's practice. Thomas Morstead, who's been a part of a bunch of really good teams in New Orleans, he knows what that vibe feels like, that energy. And he brought it up to me. He was like, it's just so sick. You feel the whole building just kind of has this confidence. I wouldn't say we're there yet. I would have loved to, be able to finish that drive out and, kneel it out instead of putting our defense back out there. But we're very happy with a win. But definitely, just winning 4 games in a row, it's hard to win in the NFL. So we're definitely excited about that.
You've been saying, Joy, for a while that the offense has the players, has the talent to be able to lead offense, maybe while the defensive guys get healthy or get more experience. Do you feel you are hitting that level? Is there still ways to go?
I don't know. I mean, we had 3 drives in the first half. We had 17 points. Did we punt? So, I mean, we're doing good. I'd rather have more touchdowns than field goals, but I do love Eddie. Anytime he's kicking, I'm happy about it. Still the ways to go. I mean, we can always be better. Nothing against the Titans, but, they're not a playoff team, and we have a lot of really tough games. Whether it's Monday Night Football at the Colts, a Bears team who's on a roll, Seattle. We have hard games in front of us, and, our offense has to execute and score points. And, we did that today for sure. But, we're going to get going against, better defenses. And, again, nothing against the Titans. It's just, when you're playing for the playoffs, there's just a little bit more energy out of you.
George, what makes it about this organization and John Lynch? You guys have found a lot of diamonds in the rough, like Eddie Pinheiro, Kedrick Bourne, Keon White, Cleveland Farrell. These guys were on the team to start the season or just joined before. What makes it they can just come in and help out right away?
I think when new guys first step in the door of this building, they kind of see the standard that we have set, whether it's Fred, whether it's Bosa, me, Christian, Purdy, Trent Williams, and Kyle does a really, really good job of he shows the highlights of the players that have set the standard. And then if you don't match that standard or at least try to match it, you kind of stick out like a sore thumb. And it's not really fun to stick out like a sore thumb in a football building because then you're not in the building very long. And so it just kind of forces guys to, hey, you have to play like this. Otherwise, you're just not going to be here very long. And I think that's really on Kyle and John for bringing in guys who are high character guys that want to work really hard, that, they want to be really good football players. And I think that's what it is.
When Brock takes off on that scramble, is there a part of you that's holding your breath, or are you go for it?
Absolutely not. He's Jesus Christ lizard running on water, just no ball security, fake pitching at the end of a 40-yard run. Absolutely just diabolical behavior by QB1. But I love it. As long as he's running out of bounds, I don't care. Just don't take a hit. I just don't need that in my life.
Since Brandon hasn't been
2 questions. I appreciate it.
Since Brandon hasn't been playing, the decision or the move to put him on left the team reserve wasn't a big deal in the locker room. Is that basically because he hasn't been around, or did it hit you a little bit when a teammate who's been there with you for a while now basically isn't with a teammate?
Whatever John and Kyle said. I'm going to punt on that question. It is what it is. Nothing I can do about it. So I'm just going to play ball with the guys that are here.
The confidence that you spoke about earlier, does it kind of mask what you guys have lost this season as far as 2 leaders on the defense and having you being out for a good bit of the season? Does it kind of help you now that you're on a 4-game win streak to kind of, we just go out with what we got?
I mean, that's your mindset at all times. That was our mindset last year. We just we just couldn't finish those games. And You know, when you're missing a lot of guys, whether it's me, whether it's Purdy, Fred, Bosa, like whatever it is, like you expect guys to step up and, you know, go out there and play regardless of, you know, circumstance. And, you know, I still like the reason we have a lot of the confidence that we have right now is because, you know, Mac Jones won 4 or 5 games early in the season that allows us to be at 10 wins. And, you know, when he's out there balling, Kendrick Bourne had 2 games back-to-back, 150 yards. Like, we have guys that are in positions to succeed. And, you know, Kendrick went from 2 games of 150 to, like, 0 targets for the last 3 weeks. And, hey, it is what it is. He's just out there having a great time, encouraging the wide receivers to go make big plays. And that's what this team is. Like, try not to be selfish, go out there, play your best ball, and, you know, we'll see what happens.
Brent Jones was inducted into the...
So sick.
As a tight end aficionado, are you familiar with his career? Have you talked to him much?
I've had a couple, you know, chances to talk to Brent, not as much as I'd like to. You know, he could just get, you know, his old ass down here and hang out with us once in a while. No, I'm just like, ever since college, I learned that, you know, all you ever want to do is leave your jersey in a better place. And everything I've heard about the guy, any highlights that I've seen of him, like, he was an awesome locker room guy, took care of the boys, excelled at his craft, and just loved the game of football. And we always talk about just leaving your jersey in a better place. And, like, he left an impact on this place, an imprint on this place. And it's just an honor to play tight end after a guy like that. That's a great question, Grant. Good for you. I like that. What's up?
I was going to say, how important was it to not treat this game like a trap game and have that mentality to where, you know, despite the record of what they did?
We're fighting for a playoff spot, so, like, if anybody goes out there and is sleepy or not, like, you know, not thinking that we're going to get a challenge, you know, I don't need them around me. Like, every game from this moment on is a huge game for us, whether it's seeding, whether it's just trying to make it into the playoffs, whatever it is. I want to play games in January, and the only way to do that is to beat every single team. So, like, I think we were pretty hyper-focused. Everyone was feeling good after a bye. No one was, you know, definitely no one was thinking about, oh, you know, it's just the Titans. No one was thinking about that. No, we were very much trying to go out there and play ball.
What you see in Brock today? He looked like he was in total command early on.
Yeah, Brock was awesome today. You know, did a great job commanding the huddle, made some plays with his feet, which were great, and threw the ball downfield well, and guys made plays, and Brock was Brock.
You said you were the unsung hero on that long run of his because you were faking. When does it pop in your mind, oh, wait a minute, I can try to fake him out here a little bit?
I had a high school coach that said a great fake is worth 2 blocks, and I try to take a lot of pride in my faking, and so it's always funny when you know you're not getting the ball, but you're looking up in the air and their back's to the QB, and they're trying so hard to wipe, you know, it's just funny to see the reaction. But, you know, I don't know what sparked that. I think it's because it would have been, you know, he was already in between me and the ball carrier, so if I tried to block him, he would have known that he was scrambling, so.
What were your thoughts about the jump pass touchdown?
That was awesome. Yeah, I was just playmaker being a playmaker.
I said sometimes he doesn't like the jump pass.
I could imagine. Yeah, that would make sense. I like them when they score, though.
Does it add to your game when Pearsall's doing what he did tonight? I mean, I know the last few weeks Kyle's made it pretty clear that, look, just because he's not getting the ball doesn't mean people aren't accounting for him and he's not having an impact. But Brock was saying, he still was saying, God, bro, I'm going to get you the ball, I promise.
Yeah, I think one of the things I realized early when I got here a few years ago was if a defense wants to try to stop somebody, it's difficult because there's so many players that can make plays on any given game. So whatever the strategy is for the defense, guys are going to be open. And you got guys like Ricky who are such elite playmakers that if you're going to leave him open, eventually he's going to have a game. And, you know, it goes the same way. If you want to try to stop him, he opens up so much for us. And that's just the way, you know, if you want to stop George, it leaves a lot of guys open. If you want to sell out for the run, the pass, you know, it's I think when you can play really good complementary football and selfless football, this team is really fun to be on.
How did your backs seize up on you yesterday, or what did you go through?
I have no idea. Yeah, just woke up. It was tight. I felt good. Yeah.
He gave both you and George credit for helping him through this time where he wasn't getting stats, he wasn't getting catches. What did you say to him during this stretch?
You know, we've had a lot of, you know, private conversations, but, you know, again, I've had the utmost respect for Ricky. He's an unbelievable player, and, you know, as good as he's done, he knows he can do more, and just watching him practice, watching him, there's really no one that can cover him. He's so good, he's so shifty, he's so fast, great hands, and to go through the things that he's had to go through, you know, just from his rookie year on, and continue to have to battle adversity. You know, I as far as the injury stuff goes, I've been there before, and I know what it's like to have to try to come back, and it's difficult, and sometimes it takes a few games to come back to feel like yourself again. And that just is what it is. That's the nature of the game. But the best thing to do is just keep going. And the best part about Ricky is he's going to keep getting better, and I can't wait to see when it eventually does pop off because he's a special player.
Christian, can you describe how difficult it is to get double-digit wins in a regular season? Now you still have 3 more games to play before the playoffs.
Yeah, you don't take it for granted, I'll tell you that much. You know, getting 10 wins is a big deal. Getting 11 would be even sweeter.
Christian, how you feeling? You know, at the end of games, how you feeling, and generally how you feeling right now at this point in the year?
I feel great. Yeah, I feel great. After games, I mean, that's a loaded question, but, you know, feel.
When do you start feeling more like yourself? Is it Monday? Is it Tuesday?
I think depends. You know, each week sparks different challenges that you got to just deal with and treat. But, no, I mean, overall, I feel really good.
When you say that Ricky's special, is it his ability to separate that kind of distinguishes him from other wide receivers?
Yeah, I think, you know, he can run any route in the route tree. And then I think it's his ability to beat man coverage and his hands especially too. I mean, he's a hell of a ball catcher, and he's an elite route runner and can get open. And I think in this offense, when you have somebody who's as dynamic as that, the ball was going to find him.
Posted doesn't mean anything, so how important that you guys just kept pace for the win today?
It is. You know, you can come out of a bye week pretty slow. We didn't do that this week. You know, started the game, I think, a 15-play, 13-play, and 8-play drive for touchdowns. So I think a field goal in there. But when you start the game like that, you know, you want to finish better. But, you know, as a team, we knew we had to come in and beat. You know, just everything pointed to that. And then when you can get on track and start fast, it really helps us, help the defense, and then just getting into rhythm again. So it was a good win.
With the exception of the one turnover, you guys scored on every possession, so that's pretty efficient.
It is efficient. When you come out, like I said, when you come out of bye week, you don't know if it's going to be slow or you know, where guys are at. But, you know, you could tell on bonus Monday, you know, guys are energized. Kind of when you look back and see the bye week in week 13, you're like, dang, it's a long way away. But the fact that it's only 4 games to the, you know, playoffs, you can do anything for 4 weeks. So the fact that we got a fresh air and breath of it and a win, it helps.
You probably didn't get a chance to necessarily scoreboard watch today, but everybody else, you know, they're close games and they won, so you just stayed where you are, number 6. But a real chance to take care of business next week as you go to Indianapolis. What are the thoughts about going there?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a challenge. It's indoor, dome, I mean, on turf. They got a good team. Then also, you know, you're hoping Seattle pulls one out, you know, on Thursday night. But, you know, we're going to take care of what we got to. We went out and take care of business. You know, if you take care of your business, you usually end up in a good spot. So we went out, and I think we're going to be pretty happy with where we land.
What was your offensive line's reaction to Brock's longest run of his career, and then the little pump fake on Barton? It looked like he had to apologize.
It's pretty awesome. I mean, I didn't know it was his longest run, but hey, he can run. But it was awesome for us to watch. But you know, you want him to stay back there and throw the ball. But when he's running, you know, he can create plays.
He started dancing after the George Kittle touchdown. He's getting too much swagger. Do we have to stop this much swagger from Brock?
I don't know if you got to stop it, but maybe rein it in a little bit. No, I mean, he loves playing football. You know, we all love having him as our QB and our leader. So, you know, if he's having fun, it means the offense is having fun. It means the team's having fun. So, you know, hey, keep Dougie in and keep it rolling. So, good for him.
Was the mentality to not treat this game like a trap game just because of the record that they had?
I mean, you saw what happened in Tampa Bay. It was a good reminder for all of us that, you know, it doesn't really matter. It's the NFL. Anyone can lose to anybody. They have great players, you know, on teams. It's just, are they playing well or not, and are they winning? So, yeah, you could call it a trap game, but, you know, luckily we didn't fall into it. You know, we came out, played well, and you want to finish strong, but, you know, we'll keep doing that.
Can you take me through the Jeffrey Simmons touchdown, and had you ever seen a D tackle score a touchdown?
I never seen that. I was in man coverage. Well, we were in man coverage, so I wasn't looking at Jeffrey Simmons.
Was he the forgotten man on that?
I was thinking run though, because I mean they put him in the backfield like only to run the ball. So when they came out with the pass, it kind of shocked me, honestly.
I know you want to enjoy this win, but your coach turns 46 today. The guy you're playing is 44 next week. Is that kind of interesting to you that your head coach is just 2 years older than the quarterback you're going to face next week?
Oh yeah, that's kind of crazy. Just seeing Phillip Rivers growing up, just watching him, it's going to be a blessing, to go against him. Hall of Famer. And then as for Kyle, yeah, that's crazy.
Just while you guys are on the bench, are you sort of looking up at the scoreboard, trying to check the Seahawks or Rams scores?
Nah, it's really only about us. We're gonna have to see them regardless. So, we ain't really worried, as far as with watching them during our game.
Can you describe how hard it is to get 10 wins this quickly in the season, considering you have 3 more games left and you can max out at 13 here?
Oh yeah, it's very hard. Last year we got 6, so it's a big step this year. With just all the players and just building that camaraderie. Us playing together and just able to stretch out and get 10 wins.
Fred was standing in the end zone there, hugging every single guy that came off the field. What's that mean to you guys?
Oh, it's a blessing, just to have him around the building, still in good spirits and just pushing all the younger guys and pushing us, to be great.
How important was it to not treat this game like a trap game, knowing they have the record they had?
It's the NFL, any given Sunday. So you got to come out and still play like you playing, we playing playoff ball.
Been a lot of Fred talk about just his 6-hour rehab days and him maybe trying to possibly get back on the field. A lot of chatter about that. Is that something that you hold any belief in, or you think he's going to be able to maybe do that?
It would be great to have Fred back. Honestly, him just playing his presence, just the greatness and everything that he can do to affect the game. It would be a blessing to have him back.
Jauan, can you describe how hard it is to get 10 wins in this league and you still have 3 more games in the regular season? Just kind of how impressed you've been with your team's resilience this year?
Just having a relentless mindset, going out to practice, not having attitude, putting yourself down. Every day just got to be great.
With the injuries you've dealt with this season, you just set a career high in touchdown receptions on the season. What's it mean to you?
2 touchdowns in my career high?
Well, no, you got, I believe, 7. 7's your career high.
Oh, 7? Oh.
Yeah.
Even by 1.
You didn't even know. You weren't thinking about it much.
No, I'm not.
Kyle said it was a couple of weeks ago where you felt you were getting back to form, that you were getting to full health. When you got to that point, did it help you, try to turn the page on what was maybe a bumpy start to the season?
I just go out there, play football, because I love the game. I love being out there with my brothers. Every time you get an opportunity, you're trying to make it, and that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm gonna keep doing.
Have you felt more like yourself here the last few weeks?
Oh yeah.
How is that showing up for you? How do you feel it?
I don't know, man. Y'all got eyes. Y'all tell me. DM me. You ain't JJ. I'll be looking for it.
What's it like playing with Brock right now? He's playing with a lot of swagger, confidence, with the Dougie again.
Same Brock, man. Same Brock, man. Just being himself. Brock carrying the team each and every week. We love having Brock out there as QB1, and we're going to lay it on the line for him.
What do you think about Brock's 26-yard run, his longest run by anyone on this team so far this year?
It was cool. Honestly, I love seeing Brock run. He gets kind of low and weaves through, and I'm glad he got the first down, and just Brock extending plays. That's what he does.
Did you guys do anything special for Kyle's birthday today? Obviously the win. But,
I got him a win, man. I got him a win. What else is there?
I don't know what else you guys could have done.
We could have won by an extra tutty or something.
Starters, how are you feeling? I know you had to go out at the end, but what does it feel like to kind of be able to get back in there, get some targets and get some yards?
Yeah, it feels really good, being involved in passing and be able to make plays for offense to continue the drives and get some points in the board.
Kyle Shanahan said this week that it's not about stats with him, it's how you play without the ball in your hands. So does it make you feel better and confident that your coach feels that way about you?
I definitely think so. Hearing it from him, a guy like that, and a guy that I respect a lot. And I think for me, that's something that I had to learn for the last 2 weeks, honestly, and that it's not about stats, man, and it's about the flow of the game and the impact I can make without the ball in my hands, like you said. And we go hand in hand with the run game anyway. So the harder I go in run blocking, running my routes, the more Christian and the other guys are going to eat too as well. And just being able to trust in that and know it's going to come my way, and just to be ready when the opportunity is up. So
last couple of press conferences, Kyle was almost to the point of sounding annoyed when he kept getting asked about Pearsall in the offense.
Yeah, I was getting annoyed too.
and he's saying, look, he's doing the same thing he's always done, but sometimes the ball doesn't go there. Did he need to tell you that, or you just knew that?
I mean, a lot of my teammates, that's the good part about this team, man, is he doesn't really need to tell me. And I think that he didn't straight up come up to me and tell me for a reason is because he knew the vets in this room. And, obviously my locker mates that I'm right next to, there's big vets that, tell me, the things that I need to hear as a player, and, that the ball's going to continue to come my way, later in the season, and just to always be ready and know the impact that I'm making, even with the ball in my hands. But yeah.
When you looked at the game plan, did you have a feeling you were going to get a lot of opportunities today?
If I'm being honest, yeah. Yes. I definitely thought I was going to have some opportunities today. And honestly, I have that mindset pretty much each and every week, and I've had that mindset for the last really 2 weeks for real. And sometimes football just happens where you just don't get the ball, and there's a lot of things that need to go right in order to get the ball to the receiver. So, the good thing about this game is it's the ultimate team sport. So, whether it is going my way and I have all the cool stats or not, I'm still creating an impact. We're still winning games, and that's all that matters at the end of the day.
Speaking of winning the games that you're winning, I mean, you only have a 2-year sample size. Totally different position now than you guys were this time last season. Does it feel different for you?
For sure. You play this game to win games, and that's what the ultimate goal is to continue to win and continue to build off those wins. Don't get complacent and continue to attack each day the same exact way. But yes, we definitely play for the wins. I can have the crappiest game in the world. If we win, that's all that matters at the end of the day. So yes, we're chasing wins. For sure.
Are you getting the feeling that your offense, the passing game, can go against anybody right now? The way with all the guys you got and all the weapons, the way you're clicking.
100%. I feel like if I didn't believe in that, I wouldn't be in the position I'm in right now. So I gotta always have faith in that and confidence, and we do. I have confidence in Brock. I have confidence in George, Christian, whoever it is, whoever's on that field. I have the utmost confidence for it because I see them come in here and work every single day. I work my tail off each and every day, and that's the love of the game right there.
How do you feel physically? You had the battle. Apparently the ankle was hurt to the point where Kyle said you thought you didn't get in the end zone because of it. And then you wound up with another injury at the end. But do you feel good from both those things?
Yeah, I'm throwing that excuse in there too. That's why I didn't get in the end zone. I'm not gonna lie. I started feeling a little bit right there when I started to open up. But yeah, no, I was banged up, man. That first play, I got twisted and tackled, and my ankle just got caught under him as we landed. And it sucks. That's the game sometimes. I was obviously frustrated due to what I've already had to go through. But just knowing that continue to have faith. Just go wrap that ankle up, get back in the game, see if you can go. And I feel like I can go. And towards the end of the game, obviously I came up limping, but that's just some old stuff. So.
What do you think about Jauan's game and just the stretch that he's been on the past couple games?
Yeah, Jauan's a hell of a player, man. I have the utmost respect for Jauan. That's my guy right there. I see how he comes into the building each and every day, and honestly, there's a lot of things that I've learned from him, and especially when he straps up his cleats and his helmet and he steps on the football field, it's a different dude, and that's something that always respected about Jauan, and it's no surprise that he's balling out. He's going to continue to do this. That's what I have full confidence in for sure.
Ricky, people were saying that he thought you might have irritated the PCL at the end of the game. Are you concerned at all about it? Right?
I wouldn't say I'm super concerned. I don't really know what's going on with it, to be honest. I got to get some imaging done to it to see what exactly it is. But it's probably the that I was dealing with before, and that sucks. But at least I know how to manage it now and go about it. And so that's all I can focus on right now is getting it ready for the next week.
Ricky, before you came back officially for your first game, you mentioned it was a matter of just kind of being tolerant and kind of getting to that point. Is that going to be kind of how you think it goes for the rest of the season?
Yeah. You know what? Everybody in this entire locker room's hurting. So I don't want to feel sorry for myself. I don't want nobody to feel sorry for me. Because at the end of the day, y'all not going to feel sorry for me anyway. And, I think this is just a very physical game. And you're going to have to battle through injuries whether you like it or not. It's a 100% chance you're going to have an injury probably throughout the season, and that's just what the game is. And so whether I can, what can I do now? And that's just attack each and every day to the fullest and try to get it right for next week and go out there and make plays for these boys.
People were worried about Brock, with the toe, saying, he can't plant, maybe he's floating the ball and that kind of stuff. How do you think he's throwing the ball now?
I think he's throwing the ball great, man, and I think it's just getting back on the same page with him. We're talking about this on the sideline a little bit. It was like, it's just going to take repetition over and over again, and that's the good thing about the game is we get opportunities to do that. We will get a next game, we'll get next practices, and there's going to be a game where we just blow up and we go crazy, and I'm looking forward to that. And he's been throwing the ball really good, man. And I'm super excited for Brock to continue this season. He's going to ball out.
What did you think of Brock's scramble? His little fake out, plus he danced again, a little Dougie after a touchdown.
I didn't see the dance, but like I said, it's just when you see him break up the sideline like that, it's just like, we have so many weapons on his offense, and then you just reminded like, oh, that's another aspect that we got,
When you get the news, like when these big guys go down, do you remember how it felt? Did you feel like you had to generate like positivity when you hear about that?
No, I ain't gonna say that because we lost guys that's the heart and soul of the team. So I'll be lying to just say I was ready to roll with the next guy. It took some time, man. We had to, for lack of a better word, mourning a little bit, especially seeing the way like Fred went down, and it's hard. It's hard to deal with in the time. And like you said, we're professionals and we got to keep moving forward. But I'll be lying to say that it's not a tough thing to deal with.
Commercially, how does it feel? You here, y'all one of the best teams in the league. You don't have many years left, but you playing for something, like being still in the game, that's got to mean something to you. Huh?
Yeah, for sure. Our goals that we set out at the beginning of the year is still there, no matter who's not in the lineup, who's in or out the lineup. Everything we set out for and we said that this team can accomplish is still right in front of us. So, super encouraged, but just one down. We got 3 more to go, and then we'll see how the big dance play out.
The O-line had to worry about Jeffrey Simmons all week. Did you think that your defense was going to have to worry about Jeffrey Simmons?
Nah, that was a cool little wrinkle. I definitely didn't see that coming.
How badly would you want to get in on a play like that?
It's whatever, man. At the end of the day, I've had a long time to sit there and fantasize over a touchdown and stuff. But I think those fantasies kind of faded a little bit. I just want to lock down my position.
Brock, this week you talked about wanting to get back to feeling like yourself. A lot of that has been health-wise. You're coming off the bye week. Did you feel today that you're the healthiest you've been aside from week 1 this season?
Definitely. Just having time off, resting up, and even when I did come back, I feel like every week I just slowly got better and better with my toe and everything. So to have a week off and then, come back this week ready to attack. And so felt good out there, be able to, move around, run, throw, and just feel good.
Something else you've talked a lot about is playing with a chip on your shoulder. I think a few years ago that was easy for people to understand. Your last pick in the draft, you come out, you got to prove yourself. What do you use as the chip on your shoulder, the motivation to play with that edge now?
I think it's just the experience of, it's the NFL, and nothing's ever for sure. You don't know what's going to happen, and so you can't ever let up. You can't get complacent. There's other guys out there that are really good, and they'll expose you the minute you take a breath. And so I feel like it's just getting back to, when I say chip on the shoulder, it's I have to go out and attack, and I have to go take it, every single down, every single quarter, and not let up. So, that's the mindset that I'm, trying to have.
Christian McCaffrey, the team's top receiver, the team's top rusher. He's been such a workhorse. He hasn't missed a game this season. As a quarterback, what is having a player like McCaffrey at your availability do to the offense?
It's awesome. Just the way that, he rehabs and gets his body right throughout the week so that he can go out and perform the way that he does with the amount of workload that he has, man. It's very impressive. So to be able to throw the ball to him, hand the ball off to him, he's Mr. Consistent. Everybody relies on him, and so to have him as that corner piece in our offense, man, is huge. And so we all appreciate him, and he's just going to continue to go.
In watching you play, that Cleveland game really seemed to unlock something for you. You were able to throw the ball away instead of trying to force plays. We saw you do the Dougie then. We saw you do it today. It seems like you've really settled in and become a lot more confident. Have you seen your confidence develop throughout this season at all?
I just think for me it's, I can have fun and stuff when I'm on top of my job and when I do my assignment well, and then we can have fun when we execute. And so it's not, hey, I'm going to go into this game and just have fun. It's, no, I got to go out and do my job for 4 quarters, and within that, How can I, get our teammates going? How can I create some energy around the guys and stuff? So just remembering that also it is a kids game that we're playing, that, we're fortunate enough to play as grown men. And so how can we have fun within that? But I have a job to do, and that's first and foremost.
A lot of people have been waiting for Ricky Pearsall to show up in the stat sheet. He does today against the Titans. Why was this week the week for Ricky Pearsall?
I mean, we got ops, the right looks and stuff for him. Obviously, going back a couple of games and whatnot, like I've wanted to get Ricky the ball, and we've just had some missed opportunities, and sometimes games just go the way they go. And so Ricky's awesome. He's got the great mindset of, hey, if I don't get hit today or have targets today, that, I'm going to continue to keep my head down, go to work, and you never know what can happen next Sunday. And today was one of those days where he got ops. So when he has a day like that, man, it makes all of us happy, and I love Ricky, and I want the best for him.
Speaking of showing up in the stats, Jauan Jennings, 2 touchdowns today. What's made him a favorite target for you?
Same thing, just in terms of like what Christian has. Like JJ is just reliable, man. He goes out, he does his job, he plays so hard. We all feel it within him, the way that he blocks in the run game and then the pass game. To be able to use his frame the way that he does and get edges and go up and get the ball. JJ does a great job with that, man. So he's a competitor, and I love to go to war with him every Sunday. So
10 wins on the season for you guys. Congratulations on that. A tough road ahead. 3 really tough matchups. You've got the Colts, the Bears, and the Seahawks. What's the mindset of this locker room, knowing the task that's at hand across these next 3 weeks?
I think for us, it's just all about getting better. Even late in the season, we can go in and watch film, and there's still little ways, whether it's the detail, the footwork, or situational football, making decisions. We need to just continue to get better, and that's across the board. So we're going to continue to do that. That excites all of us. And more than anything, we just got to stick together and continue to do this thing as a family.
Most importantly, can you teach me how to Dougie? I'm just kidding. Nobody wants to see that. Thanks, Brock.
Thanks, guys. Go Niners.
Ji'Ayir getting the shout out from your teammates today.
Deommodore Lenoir, Chase Lucas, them the guys, man. I'll see them later.
How jealous are they right now?
Oh, no, man. They look a little bit. They like they wanted to join me a little bit.
You guys did a great job today. 10 wins on the season. As a defensive unit, you guys have dealt with so much adversity. That's been a big topic all season long. How have you guys been able to pull together? I think that's a lot of people are wondering just how you guys have been able to pull it off without Nick Bosa, without Fred Warner.
Just rolling with the punches, man. Like you said, a lot of adversity, a lot of punches thrown our way. Keep going, man. Life doesn't stop for anybody, man. Things happen on the field. You got to keep going. You got to think about the positive ways you can impact the game, and that's just what we did tonight.
You guys, as I mentioned, 10 wins on the season. You've got these 3 really tough matchups to go against the Colts, the Bears, and then the Seahawks as well. What's the mindset for the defense across these last 3 games, knowing that everything's on the line for you guys, potentially a playoff spot?
The 49ers mentality, man, is always go in there and dominate. No matter who the opponent is, no matter the next 2 games we got up, everybody get treated the same way. Physicality, effort, toughness, and execution.
How much has having Robert Saleh back here in the building impacted the defense this season?
He does a great job, man. I said this before, man. He puts so much time into the game, and he puts us in the right positions at the right time, man, and he knows how to call the defense for us. So he's been excellent to have. Love working with him. My first go-around with him, but, man, I love working with him.
How does that trickle down to you guys, having a guy like Robert Saleh, the amount of time and effort he puts into it? Does that raise the bar for you guys as defensive players?
Always, man. I feel like whenever you got a strong leader, and Saleh expects execution, he expects it at a high level. And him harping on us about that and not letting us, settle for mediocrity, it's going to push everybody that's coming under him, So he does a great job leading, man. I appreciate working with him. I'm glad he's here.
How impressed are you with what you guys have been able to do with all the injuries, not just on defense, but offensively as well? You didn't have Brock Purdy for quite some time. The fact that you're sitting here at 10-4 on the season, I know there's still work to be done, but just looking back on the job you guys have done so far.
This team resilient, man. Resilient. I don't think one guy ever, sat there and was like, what we don't have. Always been what we do have. And that's what I love about this team, man. They don't care who's out there. The standard is the standard. The expectations are the expectations. And I'm super proud of these guys, man, because they're all young coming into this. And to execute at this level, man, to be 10-4 right now it's definitely something you can hang your hat on, but we ain't going to do that right now.
Still work to be done. Listen, that Brock Purdy Dougie from a couple weeks ago is getting a lot of chatter.
Hey, it's smooth, though. It's smooth, though. I like it.
Is he number one on the team as far as celebrations go?
As smooth as that Dougie is, he number one right now. It's smooth. Okay. It's number one. I got to give Brock number one, man. My QB1 is number one.
Okay, I feel like Kendrick Bourne might have something to say about that. Yeah. But we'll let Brock Purdy have it.
It's a close toss-up, but that Dougie, man, undefeated. It's undefeated.
Ji'Ayir, thank you. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you. Appreciate it.